Hello, glad you could join us again today. Today, I want to talk about biblical principles for government, or what I call ecclesia principles. And with this, we've talked a little bit about Romans 13:1. And if you would, Romans 13:1 is probably one of the most pivotal verses in the Bible in understanding. And as we've talked about, it's very important to understand the first phrase that he uses in that passage, and that is, let every soul be subject to the governing authorities. If you would, this is where we get unalienable rights. The governing authorities, he's not specifically speaking about civil government. What he is talking about are the jurisdictions that God has established. That's why he says, let every soul, that means presidents, congressmen, senators, judges, kings, queens, everybody should be subject to those. Why? Because God established 4 jurisdictions. Throughout the history of the Word of God, God established it. Now, with this, we're going to look at them chronologically to a degree in this part, because especially on the front end, we need to understand that God established self-government as the primary basis of all governing authorities. Now, Romans 1:26 puts it this way. Genesis 1:26 puts it this way. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, and over and over all the earth, and over everything, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Now, notice here the way God did this. He said, let them have dominion. So he knew there was going to be more than one, but he only started out with one. He didn't start out with Adam and Eve. He made Adam first. And then later he took Eve from Adam and made her body, and she became a living soul as well. But he made Adam first. Now, why is that important? Well, God gave dominion over the entire earth to one individual. If you would, there was no one else. There was no civil government. There was not even a family at that point in time. Everything was about the individual. God established authority, and authority and jurisdictions go together. You know, a sheriff's office, like we live in Augusta County. The sheriff's office has a jurisdiction. It's within Augusta County. Anything that is not Augusta County, they have no jurisdiction. They have no authority. Authority is tied to jurisdictions. The word jurisdiction really means the right to say. Juris, which is legal, and then diction, dealing with speech. The legal right to say. Who has the say? Well, from this standpoint, God, when he gave dominion to humanity, he started with one person. What that tells us is that the basis, or the foundation of all jurisdictions, originates with self-government. That's where it all originates. And all the rest of them come out of self-government, if you would. That there is a sharing of that jurisdiction in these other ways. That, in a sense, you give up a little bit of your self-government for these others. And we'll get more into that later. But the bottom line is, self-government is where it all starts. And boy, howdy, if self-government is messed up, you got a mess. And that's what we'll talk about next time. God bless you.